Hi everybody! Welcome to Tea Time with Twisted.
I'm Meg.
I'm Beth.
And we would like to talk to you about our yarn club.
We're super excited. We're just immersed completely in club right now.
We're stewing in it.
We're marinating.
We're marinating in club. We're very clubby right now.
We're super clubby right now.
I did want to talk a little bit about some of the color choices that I made in this club.
Well, can we start with, it is called the Goddess Within.
The Goddess Within Club. Oh, we should talk about it. We're
really excited about that. It's so healing and talk about some of the things.
And loving. Yeah. And
it's really all about just personage, right? Like how to be your best, unique self.
And that we all are. We all are beautiful and special just the way we are. We don't have to earn people's approval. And
self-care.
Self-care.
And how important that is to take time for yourself, for that goddess that lives within each of us.
And for a lot of us, we spend time with yarn, and that is healing.
And that is our time.
Yep. I like to think about that too when I knit. The more present I am with my yarn, the more I get out of it. I love the meditative, simple patterns. I love soothing colors, and then sometimes I love bright colors. Oh, I shouldn't start talking about the colors that I love.
No, not yet.
It's kind of all of them.
Easy. Go easy.
Whoa, Nelly.
Hold back. One of the coolest things about our club is that it's a surprise, but you get some hints along the way. So you can feel kind of comfortable saying, I like this palette, I like that palette, because of the way that Meg designs her two separate collections.
Yeah.
And this time we went, instead of naming the collections something goddessy, we decided to go a little bit more straightforward. It seemed to be helping a lot of people in the club make a choice between what we are calling the Shaded Palette collection and the Shining Palette collection.
Yeah.
For the Goddess Within Club. So why don't we just jump straight to some color? Because that's really what everybody wants to know. What the heck am I going to get?
Right. So with the Pinterest palettes in mind, you will see in both collections lots of blues, lots of cool colors, and there just are lots and lots of cool colors in both sets.
Which one do you want? Here's the shade. Here's one of our little posters that we've made up for the shaded collection. And I'm going to get
it's got a lot of glare on it, so it's
I'm going to get close and just show you two at a time. There are many more on Pinterest, but you can kind of get a feel for some of the colors that might be included in the shaded collection. Before we move on, let's talk a little bit about Shaded.
Shaded is maybe more jewel tone colors, but mixed with gray browns to chill out the colors a little bit, so they're not pop you in the eye bright, but still very colorful. There's a little more neutral on the brown end. No, like straight up gray,
and no straight up brown either.
There's some brown,
but it's not like chestnut.
It's exactly like chestnut.
Okay.
Well, it's similar to chestnut. No, it's not.
But here's what I'm trying to say: it is not the presiding color.
Right. It's not
so
a
it may be incorporated into
the
colorway, but it is not a brown evolution at all.
Okay. I can go with that.
Okay.
Right, but it is very little neutral.
You can't see them, but we're trying to look at them as we're talking so that we're getting a pretty fair representation.
Right. And there's no yellowish anywhere.
In either.
In either.
Yeah, in either collection.
So even the brown isn't a yellowy brown.
No.
And the Shining, those are brighter, for sure. Still not like Technicolor, and there's a little more variety in that whole collection. I wouldn't like knit all 3 of those colorways in one garment, where I believe you could with the shaded collection.
I think there might even be a little bit of a crossover between the two.
Right.
Where I could incorporate certainly one from each collection, 2 maybe even from each collection.
I can see that too.
To combine if that was something that you were interested in doing.
Yep.
And a lot of people are doing that more and more. So
right. But that the Shining collection has some cool colors, and it's got the only colorway of the 6 that really you could call a warm colorway. What are you
nothing? Because I love that one. I know which one you're talking about.
There is in the Pinterest board some reference to warmer colors. There is no orange. Mm-mm. There is something that could somebody call that orange?
You know, I
maybe
almost...
if it's sitting directly next to a blue.
Maybe it's orange-esque. It's
next to an actual orange. It doesn't look orange at all.
It doesn't look orange.
But if that's a concern, I would not say there is any yellow or orange. No. There's
and the orange, if you could call it that, and I don't. But if you were to call it orange, it's not a yellowy orange. It's more of a pinky orange.
So I was staying away from yellow and orange.
Yeah.
In particular, this whole collection is very blue centric. There's a lot of mythology around goddesses and water.
We've been having a lot of fun with that.
Yes. Through all the different world religions and time, women are so tied with the abundance of bodies of water, and it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about the colors. On Ravelry, I did start a thread, something...
It's called Goddess Within, Musings from Your Dyer.
Musings from Your Dyer, and it was a stream of consciousness that I typed up super fast about all of the things that have been percolating in my brain, like, ooh, maybe I'll knit this with this color, or that with that color.
It's really, really helpful if you are interested in participating in our Create Your Own Club membership, because Meg, like, as she's dying, she's like, ooh, this would make a great hat.
Right.
Or, no, this has got to go around my neck. I need a scarf here.
And I do dye each of our yarns on each of the colors, and some of them don't sing to me, and others wow my socks off, and the combination of the colorway and the yarn just has to be together. So I did make some notes on that. I did forget about, because I had all of the bounty in another place, so I didn't have that in front of me at the time that I was writing that post.
What do you think?
So anywhere that I say queen, because it's the same fiber blend, same mill, just different thickness and ply and puffiness. So the color takes the same. We were going to also talk about one of our favorite yarns.
So some of you participated in the Trust Me Club in our last, I think this was our, in the Knitterary
one.
Yeah, I think so too. It was in our Knitterary Yarn Club, which was our just closed, just ended. And you were fortunate enough to receive, was it 2 cakes or 1 big cake? Anyway, one big cake of what we are calling Zaftig. It is squishy and scrumptious and worsted, but fat, right?
Yeah,
my daughter would
solid.
say PHAT, fat. Like it is
thick. That's what the
Q. Thick with the Q. That's what May says.
Oh, yeah, wow, that's even younger. I don't have one that young. Sorry.
It is awesome. It is, and I'm going to tell you the makeup because I want to get it right. I'm going to read it.
It's silk and cashmere.
It's silk
in one yarn.
and cashmere. So 70% superwash merino, 20 cashmere, and 10 silk. It is an awesome base. The color takes phenomenally, even though there's silk in there. That's because of the superwash treatment, right?
that
partly
the wool
because of
just
that.
soaks it up
It
so
just,
much.
like,
And then that silk
yeah.
just adds that gleam.
You get a little bit of shine.
And strength.
That's the thing that I
Yeah.
think surprised me the most about it when I was knitting with it, was how hardy, without feeling, there's no rough, there's zero roughness. Yeah. It's just like you want to, you know, it's silk and cashmere. I mean, what's not to like? And worsted.
Right, but
but it's hardy. Like, this is going to be, this is a warm. We had 40 below here in Michigan not too long ago. And I was wearing that scarf. I wouldn't take it off. I kept it on under my coat, and then I put another thing on top of it. But it was that warm layer that really kept the chill off. So I love this yarn, and some of you have been receiving samples like this in your club or in your regular orders. We've been throwing it in because we're really considering bringing it into rotation.
Yeah, we would like some,
but we need
some opinions.
Yeah.
We wanted to get it into more knitters' hands to
just
see
to
what
feel
they
and
think.
try.
And yeah, give it a chance. And we think you'll love it as much as we do. We hope you do.
Yeah.
Because we would really like to add it to our lineup so that we have continual, constant access to it at all times in all colorways.
Because I want it. I want to knit with it all the time. But that doesn't make sense for just to get it for me to knit with. So if you've received this, you got a little card that asks you to fill out a survey. We'd really appreciate it if you did that. It's going to help us make the decision and the choice. We brought it up today because it is included in your Create Your Own Club choices for the Goddess Within Club, and it will be available for Post Club as well. So don't worry if you got Trust Me or samples. I don't remember.
There will be a sample.
There will be a sample of it. But if you'll still get to play, and if you want some at the end of club, you can get it on a club colorway. Yeah. After that, we'll see what everybody thinks about it.
Yeah, I really hope
we have to wait and
goes,
see. This isn't cheap.
It's one of my personal favorites. It's cashmere and silk.
It's cashmere and silk.
It's priced as such.
We really need to make sure that this is a goodie, and I think it is. Yeah. But I need to hear that from everybody else too.
All right, and that was mostly what we had to talk about.
I think so. Oh, one more thing, just really quickly, kind of back-endy kind of thing. Usually by this time, I've closed down some parts of the club because they fill up. And the spots are limited, but this time we've really tried to even things out and work out all the back-endy stuff. So there are still spots available in all of the memberships, which is unusual, but I don't want people to think, oh, this isn't selling. You know what I mean? Because it is. It's doing wonderfully. It's definitely living up to my expectations, but we've kind of done some fiddling with the numbers on the back end. So
a little organizational, and we talked ourselves into making more samples, which are fiddly and annoying.
Samples seem like, oh, it's just a little bit. Anybody can do.
But to get the full colorway on a small amount of yarn is actually really
kind of difficult.
So we're and you can't just do 10 times as much without exactly 10 times the effort. So I did want to give a couple shout outs. Number one, to my mother-in-law, Sue. It's nice out. Come home.
We miss you, Sue.
Yeah. Why are you still in Florida?
She gives great hugs.
The second, to Trisha Singh, my hairstylist. She ran into me, and I was so embarrassed, and she saw my hair. It hadn't been down in a while. And she called me the next day and said, you want to make an appointment? And I did, and I'm so glad. My hair is down. My fingers go through it. We do the color because we're color people.
I don't know. You can't really see mine yet. Just wait for YarnCon.
Come to YarnCon.
Wait till you see it.
And the final shout out to my musculotherapist, Jessica, who came by for a visit
earlier today.
And then she texted me a poem, which I will now read.
She's awesome.
By Pablo Neruda, Ode to My Socks. Moro Mori brought me a pair of socks, which she knitted with her own sheep herder hands. 2 socks as soft as rabbits, I slipped my feet into them as if they were 2 cases knitted with threads of twilight and the pelt of sheep. Outrageous socks! My feet became 2 fish made of wool, 2 long sharks of ultramarine blue, crossed by 1 golden hair, 2 gigantic blackbirds. 2 cannons, my feet, were honored in this way by these heavenly socks. They were so beautiful that for the first time my feet seemed to me unacceptable, like 2 decrepit firemen unworthy of that embroidered fire, of those luminous socks. Nevertheless, I resisted the sharp temptation to save them as schoolboys keep fireflies, as scholars collect secret documents. I resisted the wild impulse to put them in a golden cage and each day give them birdseed and chunks of pink melon. Like explorers in the jungle who hand over the rare golden deer to the roasting spit and eat it with remorse, I stretched out my feet and pulled on the magnificent socks, and then my shoes. And the moral of my ode is this: beauty is twice beauty, and what is good is doubly good when it's a matter of 2 woolen socks in winter.
I love that so much. I told her not to read it to me before we started recording.
So thanks for that, Jessica. I have heard references to it in Ravelry posts and stuff. Ode to My Socks. And
who is it by again?
Pablo Neruda.
Pablo Neruda.
Oh, the translator was Stephen Mitchell.
Thank you, Stephen Mitchell. That
Thank
is
you.
awesome. Thank you, Pablo Neruda.
Neruda.
Bye.
Bye, guys.